Welcome back to the English Daily Podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jake. Today we're taking a journey without buying a ticket. We're talking about maps, and the surprising ways they shape the way we think.
Maps are useful tools, of course. They help us find a street, plan a trip, or understand where countries are located. But a map is not the whole world. It is a selected picture of the world, designed for a purpose.
That's an important idea for English learners, too. When we look at a map, we can practice directions, location words, and useful expressions for explaining information. But we can also learn a little science, history, and critical thinking along the way.
Let's begin with a simple question. Jake, when was the last time you used a map?
Yesterday, actually. I was meeting a friend in a part of the city I don't know well. I opened a map app, searched for the cafe, and followed the route. It told me to go straight, turn left, and walk past a pharmacy.
Excellent examples. Go straight means continue in the same direction. Turn left or turn right tells someone to change direction. And walk past means continue beyond a place without stopping there.
Here's another useful expression: it's on the corner of Oak Street and River Road. That means the place is where the two streets meet. We can also say, the library is across from the station, or, the hotel is next to the museum.
And if you are asking for help, you might say, "Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the bus station?" The phrase "how to get to" is a very common way to ask for directions.
The answer might be, take the second street on your right, then keep walking until you reach the bridge. Until you reach means up to the point when you arrive at a place.
Now, let's move from language to the idea of representation. A representation is a picture, model, or description that shows something. A map represents a real place, but it cannot include every tree, building, person, and sound.
Right. If a map included everything, it would be as large and confusing as the real world. So mapmakers must leave things out. They choose what is important for a particular goal.
For example, a subway map usually shows train lines and stations, but it may not show exact distances. Some stations look very close together, even when the real walking distance is much longer.
That can be confusing at first. But the subway map has a special purpose: it helps passengers understand the system and choose a route. Exact geography is less important than clear connections.
This gives us a useful vocabulary word: simplify. To simplify something means to make it easier to understand by removing unnecessary details. A map simplifies the world.
Another word is perspective. Perspective is the way a person sees or understands something. A tourist, a bus driver, and a city planner may look at the same city, but each person needs a different perspective.
A tourist may need famous landmarks. A bus driver needs roads, traffic rules, and turning spaces. A city planner may need information about population, parks, and public transportation.
So, when someone shows you a map, ask yourself, what is this map trying to help me do? That question is a practical critical thinking tip. It reminds you that every map has a purpose and a point of view.
The word point of view means a particular way of thinking about a subject. We often use it in conversations, writing, and news discussions. You could say, "From my point of view, this route is safer," or, "The article presents only one point of view."
Maps can even influence how we imagine the size and importance of places. Think about a traditional world map. Many of us learned that map at school, with north at the top and south at the bottom.
But north does not have to be at the top. That is simply a convention, or a commonly accepted way of doing something. Some maps place south at the top, and others put a different region in the center.
The center of a map can make a place feel especially important. A map centered on Europe looks different from a map centered on the Pacific Ocean. Neither view is automatically the one true view.
Let's explain another word: convention. A convention is a usual practice or shared agreement. In language, spelling and punctuation include many conventions. In maps, using north at the top is a convention.
This is a good reminder for learners. When you study English, some rules are helpful, but language also changes. People use different accents, expressions, and levels of formality. A useful learner stays curious instead of assuming that one style is the only correct style.
I like that connection. Maps teach us to ask questions about what we normally accept. They also teach us about scale. Scale describes the relationship between the size of a map and the size of the real place.
If a map says 1 centimeter represents 1 kilometer, that is its scale. A large-scale map usually shows a smaller area with more detail, such as a neighborhood. A small-scale map shows a larger area with less detail, such as an entire country.
Here is a language tip. We say at a larger scale when we are talking about a broad situation, and in detail when we focus on specific information. For example, at a larger scale, the city needs better transport. In detail, this neighborhood needs a new bus stop.
Maps are also powerful because our brains use them to create mental maps. A mental map is the picture of a place that we carry in our minds. You may know how to walk from home to work without checking your phone.
But mental maps are not always accurate. We may remember a road as longer than it is, or believe two places are close because they are connected by a train line. Familiarity improves our mental map, but memory can still make mistakes.
That is why a useful travel habit is to check both the route and the surroundings. Look at the street names, notice a landmark, and pay attention to the direction of the sun when possible. A landmark is an object that is easy to recognize and helps you know where you are.
You can practice this in English. Describe your route aloud. I leave the apartment, cross the square, pass the bakery, and turn right at the traffic light. Speaking while walking helps connect vocabulary with real experience.
You can also challenge yourself to give directions without using a map. Ask a partner to imagine a simple neighborhood. Then explain how to get from the school to the market. Your partner can draw the route and see whether your explanation was clear.
That activity develops precision. Precision means accuracy and careful detail. Instead of saying, the market is over there, say, the market is 2 blocks east of the school, beside the bank.
And remember sequencing words, first, next, then, after that, and finally. They make instructions easier to follow. For example, first, take the number 5 bus. Next, get off at Central Square. Then, cross the road. Finally, walk for 3 minutes.
What about digital maps? They offer wonderful convenience, but we should not follow them blindly. The word blindly here means without thinking or checking. A phone may choose the fastest route, but the fastest route is not always the safest or most comfortable.
Exactly. A route can be fast but poorly lit, crowded, or difficult for someone using a wheelchair. Good decisions require context. Context means the situation and the surrounding facts that help us understand something.
We can use the same idea with information online. A chart, diagram, or infographic is also a kind of map. It guides our attention, but it may leave out important facts. Before believing a visual, check who created it, when it was made, and what information it includes.
That is especially important with maps showing election results, income, health, or population. Colors can make differences look dramatic. A map may be technically correct but still give a misleading impression if the scale or categories are chosen carelessly.
Misleading means causing someone to believe something that is not completely true. We are not saying every map is dishonest. We are saying readers should examine it thoughtfully.
A simple checklist can help. Ask 3 questions. What is the purpose? What is included or left out? And what conclusion does the design encourage me to make?
Those questions are useful far beyond maps. They can help you understand advertisements, social media posts, and news reports. Learning English is not only learning words. It is learning how to use language to understand the world.
Before we finish, let's review today's practical English. To ask for directions, say, could you tell me how to get to the station? To describe a location, say, it's across from the hotel, or, it's on the corner.
For a route, use clear verbs such as go, turn, cross, pass, take, and reach. Organize your instructions with first, next, then, and finally. And remember that a landmark is a recognizable object that helps people navigate.
We also learned simplify, perspective, convention, scale, mental map, precision, context, and misleading. Try writing one sentence with each new word, or choose 3 and use them in a short story about a journey.
The bigger lesson is that maps are not neutral copies of reality. They are tools. They simplify information, reflect a purpose, and influence our perspective. When we understand that, we become better travelers, better language learners, and more careful readers of information.
So the next time you open a map, do more than follow the blue line. Notice the choices behind it. Ask what the map shows, what it hides, and how it helps you think.
Thanks for joining us on the English Daily Podcast. Keep practicing, stay curious, and remember, every journey is a chance to learn new English.
If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to the English Daily Podcast, share it with a friend, and come back for another useful conversation. See you next time.